When encountered with Starstruck, me and my teammates had several ideas, and what we really wanted to do, because we hadn't been able to do it last year, was to have a system where we could run two manipulators with the same set of motors. And we eventually decided to do that by using a double ratcheting system, or a rotating ratcheting system, which it goes by many names. For those who do not know, a double ratcheting system kind of looks like this. But basically what it allows you to do, it allows you to rotate the axle in one direction and allow the gear to free spin or not move under load, and it won't move. But when you rotate in the other direction, it will drive the gear, driving your manipulator. So what this ends up allowing you to do is you can run a manipulator or a rotating object such as say a catapult in one direction and have the second manipulator not move, but when you rotate the other direction, the second manipulator will drive and the first manipulator will not move. But when you do this, you end up making a very complex system. For example, you can end up having lots of problems we encountered were the screw heads not fitting. We had to use a very finite amount of spacers. We had to create our own nuts using the standoffs because otherwise they would collide with the ratchet. And there are several other problems that occur when you try to use this system on a 60-tooth gear like we did. So the solution to this was our CAD file. We 3D printed a model so that it could be mounted similarly to our prototype, and basically it takes out all the hassle of having to measure all the spacers, and it's a very simple screw in and it'll work. And this is much simpler than having to prototype your own screws and your screws and spacers, and having to measure out these things and cause these errors. So this is a example of how our product works, and it works similar to our prototype, in which it when the axle rotates one way, it allows the gear to free spin, and when it rotates the other way, it catches and turns the gear. So this is our 3D model, and there's a mounting hole here, a hole for the axle, and a mounting hole here. And there is also a nub for the rubber bands to attach to, right there, and then it expands at the top so that the rubber bands don't come off while the product is using. There is a counter bore for the screw that goes into the ratchet to plug into, so that the screw is flush when you end up using the prototype.